Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. What's up, my dudes? I'd like to thank Rhys Harris for the 90-cent donation. You'll definitely be making it on the top monthly donator list because I've been a little short on the donations here recently. So, but yeah, this is the track review of, I don't even know the name of it. It's a really long name. It's a part of a pretty big series that the Concept Graph MXS, I think, is the name of the creator of this track, and they've made like 4 or 5 different rounds of these like pretty crazy different biome style tracks. Either way, you dudes digging this vibe or what? God, that snow falling effect, that just adds a whole different layer to the game. Wow, dude, like it really does. I don't know what the hell I was doing on the bike right here, but it just started crashing like crazy. The on track is definitely like, it's got sort of one way to ride on it, and if you don't ride on it that way, it's like very, very difficult of a track. But I mean, even the on track itself I thought was pretty unique, and this certain kind of ground decal he's got looks really, really good for a snow track. It doesn't just look like just snow. I mean, he's got like actual dirt, looks like dirt ruts mixed with snow, so I think it all looks pretty good in that sense, and gives you this real official feeling to it, how the track's made and how the tough blocks are put there. Feels like a very custom track. It doesn't feel like just a bunch of rehash stuff that's used on every other track. Like, it really feels like its own thing. He's got 2 cool little cabins over here. Now, a couple of sections on the track, you can definitely hit a bigger rhythm on it, but let me warn you, dudes, like, it's not easy, okay? There's a couple areas where it is very, very difficult to do that, but I just love when tracks can get this vibe like they are really expanding the game. You know, that's my favorite kind of tracks out there, the ones that, oh, dude, check out that sick-ass front flip to a fail. Like, rode a wheelie all the way up to that jump face. Thought I was going to be able to flip over, but couldn't really do it. But it's so cool on his tough blocks how he's got snow on top of those as well. It's just those little attention to detail things like that that, man, it can really bring a track around. It honestly can. Now, the on track, it's like pretty much built on a perfectly flat surface, so you're going to get this feeling of, I think the start is kind of down in a hole a little bit, but you're definitely going to get this track reminded me a lot of that. What was that track they had where it was kind of like snow, but it was indoor and outdoor? It was like both. Hell, they may have had an actual snow effect on that track. If any of you guys remember that, I don't know if it was like a RF track or what the hell that was, but I know I did a track review on it. It was like a year or 2 ago, and it was like indoor and outdoor. You guys remember that snow track? It had like all the lights, and you went outdoor and indoor, and it was like a very fully made hybrid-y style track. A lot of the pros raced on it. I can't even remember the name of it, but I don't know if it was like a Tokyo City track or if it was just like I don't know what it was, but this really reminded me of that. It just kind of had that same feeling to it. Really cool snow trees he's got off the track. He's got 2 different ones. He's got one that's a little bit taller. He's actually got 3 different ones. If you can notice, he's got this one right here that's tall, and it's got kind of the white at the top, but it's got the brown part below it, and then you got basically the same tree, but it's just got more of a white look below it, and then you got that other kind of like pine style tree with snow on it in the background. So pretty good variation on that. Now, obviously, on some of the off-track stuff, I mean, it can definitely give you the feeling of like, oh, okay, there's the end of the track right over there. You know what I mean? But it's not too bad. Definitely not what I would call like terrible or anything. But I like how he put these little got kind of like orange-red little sticks all the way around the track. Just gives it that real official feeling. I know for a fact whenever you put tough blocks, no matter if it's motocross or supercross, it does give it sort of this like this next level feeling in a sense, even though I don't think it belongs on all tracks. You know, I like to have some tracks that are more like just more of a pure, not like a bunch of objects and stuff like that on it, more natural style track. But it is really cool when you do see these more officially made tracks and stuff, especially when they're really trying to run like a racing series. That's usually when you see a lot more of that going on. So A lot of sections where you'll hit like tabletop to tabletop, then you'll come off of that. Really cool right here. Makes it feel like a super different section where you go under all three. Wow, I didn't even realize that I was actually doing that on the track till now. So you're like going under all three of those little crossovers. That is cool how you did that. And you can see that's like their team name right there. So it's all basically self-sponsored, done here. And yeah, I know there is like one of the kind of like a tropical-esque vibe, kind of like tropical desert maybe style track or something like that within this series. I may do a review on that later, but yeah, I mean, let's just be honest right here. This snow effect is what makes this track. It really is. If it didn't have that and it didn't have some of these custom objects, it would be a little bit more standard, but I mean, I do think it is somewhat fun on track, and there is some sections you can hit bigger. Now, like I was saying before, when you do go for some of the bigger stuff, it can feel like that was never even meant to be hit. You know, it just has it's like you're landing in areas where there's not even a brown rut decal there whatsoever. So it's like, am I even really meant to hit this? Or is this just like, you know, way too crazy? Am I going way too crazy here? Like, what's going on? So you can get that feeling. You can actually jump all the way over that tabletop too, then jump onto that. So a couple little areas where you can kind of hit a bigger rhythm. Now, a couple of his transitions you can see right there can be a little bit abrupt, a little bit like, whoa, that was like a super peaked out jump compared to some of the other ones. But overall, I mean, I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, it's a great track if you're just trying to learn the game. There's a couple of somewhat medium style jumps, which you're going to have to make sure you hit the gas on them, because like that one right there, if you come up short on that motherfucker, you're going to break your ankles pretty quickly, pretty much instantly. So, you know, I mean, you can see the face on this. It's basically almost straight up. It's like a Supercross triple plus, like a little bit of height on it. So it's pretty monster when you look at it from a realistic standpoint. But I guess since the jump distances aren't quite that long, you know, it makes it to where it's not that difficult of a track in an overall sense. There is a few places you can come up short and still save your ass, but for the most part, especially if you're really trying to rail the track and hit everything super hard, there's going to be some places where it's just going to be too risky to really be worth it. But if I just stop right here, so you can kind of see how it's like it's more of a sequence than it is like an actual effect. You can see how it's like it's playing like 6 different frames and then it's going back to the first frame. You know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like popping up all those pictures and then it's going back to the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, over and over and over and over, and that's what kind of gives it that effect. Maybe it would have helped the track to have had like maybe 10 or 11 instead of like, I'm just assuming he's got like 5 or 6. I'm not really sure. Hell, it may not even be a sequence. I don't know, but that's just what it looks like. It's usually what people do with this. So maybe what would have helped it is to have had a few more like actual picture sequence frames. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like he's got 3 or 4 or something like that. If he'd have had like 10 or 11, it would have maybe the snow would have had a bit more of a flow to it instead of like this start, stop, start, stop, start, stop kind of thing that it looks like right here. So that's just little nitpicky stuff. I mean, hell, it's snow on a track. You can't really complain that much. It's pretty amazing. You know, it definitely adds another level to the track. That skybox is perf for this track, dude. Love these different skyboxes these people are putting in some of their tracks, because like, you know, this skybox could be used for so many things. That's me being the creator and I've always been like an editor, creator, maker, and this customizer, and I've always really tried to push the limits when it comes to vibes in MX Simulator. You know, I've really tried to always push that, and it's funny I say that's how I am with MX Simulator, but that's how I am with everything. My own music, all that stuff. By the way, my music's in a playlist on my front page. If you didn't know that I made some music, I got a couple songs on there. You got to bear with it a little bit. You know, I just started making music, and of course, I haven't been taught by anyone. I've self-taught myself how to do it. So we're learning. We're trying to get better at it, but I'm going to be coming out with some cool stuff on that as well. And don't forget as well, I've got some track review playlist on the front page of all of my MX Simulator track reviews. I think I got like 160 or 70 some odd track reviews on that playlist. Good God. The track review thing has definitely been, I know my channel has pretty much always been based around like my own custom tracks and shit like that, but I've done a lot of track reviews, dude, over the years. It's just you can pump so many more of these out than you can like your own custom track, showing people that and stuff, you know. But yeah, man, love the creativity, love the work you guys are putting in, and I saw a couple different cool little vibes in your other tracks in this series as well. So like I was saying, I thought that was pretty cool. It's cool how he put some of his little, this is that France Racing SX Cup, possibly. I don't know, but that's cool how he kind of painted that in too. It almost looks like somebody took a shit in the snow, but yeah, it looks like he kind of painted on some of these little areas of the snow here. So kind of cool. But in an overall sense, I mean, you got, you know, some grass billboards. He's got this little rock off of the track as well. Oh, you can actually look inside of, look at this shit. Wow, dog. Let's go get cozy up in the cabin right quick. What the? I did not think you could actually come in here like this. Wow, that is interesting. I didn't think you could actually... So apparently you could drive the bike up in there. Ride the bike up in there. God, did I say drive? I'm not that kind of person, I promise. You could actually ride the bike up in there. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, I did not know they actually had cabins like that in the game. That's cool. But either way, I'm going to give this thing a... I mean, that falling snow effect is just hard to... I mean, that alone is a point or two. You know what I'm saying? On top of everything else. And just the skybox looks good. It all matches this cool biome pretty well. Trees look pretty good on it. It all just does a pretty good job in a overall style of something vibe different on the track. So I thought that was pretty cool. So... I'm going to give it a 9 overall, and I'm going to say the difficulty is, you're probably looking at medium, nothing too crazy, pretty good track for people to learn on, especially if you stay on the actual, what looks like the dirt, and you don't get like to jumping over stuff, and you're down here like in this. Even though you can go faster doing that stuff, it's going to be like twice as risky because it's like the track's not even really built for some of those bigger rhythms. So hey dudes, I just wanted to let you guys know that you can add me on Steam, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live. You can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, all that different stuff, Twitter, all of that kind of stuff. My username for all that is just Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. So it's just like my YouTube channel, but without the space and without the capital letters at the beginning of Spencer and Turley. So definitely go add me up on that. I'll add all of you guys, and yeah, we can get to having some fun on some other games and stuff. And like I'm saying, anybody wanting to do any sponsorship deals, like asking me to sponsor them, or you want to sponsor me, or vice versa, hit me up on my email, spencerturley@live.com, no space, no capital. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.